What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. And today we're going to be doing an Atlanta Falcons offseason realistic rebuild. Now, before we get into this video though, guys, if you could simply leave a like and of course subscribe to this YouTube channel if you've not already. We have like 7 or 8 teams of these left to do of these offseason realistic rebuild series. So thank you guys so much for the support on this series. I very much appreciate you guys for that. So the support is just like I said, greatly appreciated. The Atlanta Falcons are in a little bit of a weird situation. Obviously Matt Ryan and Calvin Ridley. There's just a lot of interesting pieces that may not be here anymore. Matt Ryan, I assumed the Falcons would potentially move on from him, but there was a report earlier on, like as soon as the season ended, that no, Arthur Smith wants Matt Ryan to be his guy. So that sounds like what it's going to be. But I would assume with the first round pick, the Falcons are going to heavily consider drafting a quarterback because Matt Ryan's not going to be here forever. I think it'd be time to get like a young quarterback to develop behind him. Obviously, like the Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre situation, you know, like young quarterbacks just and then Mahomes behind Alex Smith kind of thing. I feel like that makes a lot of sense. So I guess you keep Matt Ryan for one more year, but you really do need to invest in a different quarterback because Matt Ryan is, you know, not the future of the team. So, and of course, the Calvin Ridley thing is also weird. Didn't play a lot this year, stepped away because of personal reasons, and now personally he wants to be traded and just needs to be in a different situation. And I think it apparently has nothing to do with the Atlanta Falcons. It's just something with his personal life. So it's a little weird because Calvin Ridley is one of those young wide receivers that you wouldn't love to trade away. In fact, you traded away Julio, so it would really suck to have to trade away Calvin Ridley as well. But it sounds like Atlanta may be forced to do so. You do have Kyle Pitts though, which is great. Definitely could have been better this year, but he was decent as a rookie. And then you also have some interesting pieces on defense, but there's still a lot of things we need to fix on this team in general. So let's just go ahead and see what our negotiation stage looks like for guys we need to bring back to the team, and we can get started here. So I think the first thing we for sure need to do this offseason is we need to draft a quarterback. That's one thing we will be doing for sure. But if you take a look at some of the guys we need to bring back, there's actually quite a few, and we don't have a ton of cap space either, which is very unfortunate. Let's go ahead and just take a real quick look at our situation here and see if there's any way to free up some money for somebody that just doesn't make sense to keep any further. So if you take a look at savings, you got 11 million from Calvin Ridley, but we are going to be trading him away anyway. So I guess we'll be freeing up 11 million when we do so. $0 penalty. He's on his last year of his contract. So we're going to be trading Calvin Ridley to a wide receiver needed team. We'll have to figure that out when we cross that bridge. So no, that doesn't make any sense. So I don't think we're going to be cutting Calvin Ridley. We're going to be trading him away. So not a ton of cap space for us. That's just going to be the reality of our situation today. So let's just go ahead and take a look and see who we should be bringing back. So we got Fuasai, Aluakon, Cordell Patterson. As good Cordell Patterson was for this team, I don't know if the Falcons should be investing in bringing him back, just because honestly he's 31 years old. I mean, if you're gonna bring him back, I'll only sign him to like a 1-year deal. I don't think signing him long term makes a ton of sense. Like I said, this Falcons team is it needs to start to get younger and rebuild a little bit. I would say, you know, there's definitely some interesting pieces here, but if you could get some you know, younger players here, I think that would make way more sense than re-signing a 31-year-old Cordell Patterson. Although he had a fantastic year for them, I know that he played like 3 different positions. It's just, I think it'd be better if you know, moved on and try to get somebody younger in the draft or something. So I do want to sign Younghoe Koo back. He's one of the better kickers in the league. So let's not lose him in free agency, hopefully. No, Younghoe Koo wants to go to free agency, so we'll worry about that. Russell Gage, though, if we're going to be trading Calvin Ridley away, I think it does make a ton of sense to keep Russell Gage in Atlanta. So hopefully he's able to, yeah, Russell Gage is back. Going to be potentially our number 1 wide receiver. We'll see how that's going to go. Zacchaeus, also 25 years old. If we get him back at free agency, that would be great, but I'm not going to like trip over getting him now. And then the last but not least, the last piece I think I want to try to get is Fuasai Aluakon, if we can get him back. Not going to be too expensive, so if we can offer Aluakon a contract and just like that, we get Aluakon back. So I do want Younghoe Koo. We got Russell Gage back. Thomas Morstead, 36-year-old. Fabian Moreau at 28 years old. Now, I did like Fabian Moreau a lot in Washington, but since he is 28 years old, I might move on. Isaiah Oliver at 25, maybe just another depth signing. We can offer him a 2-year deal, and he's back. So, okay, not a ton of cap space for us, but first thing I want to do in day 1 of free agency is trade away Calvin Ridley. So, I think Calvin Ridley could go for like a first round, second round pick or two. His value might be hurt a little bit by the reason he didn't play last year, but he's still a stud. So I think you still get plenty for him. So We're gonna go ahead and probably trade Calvin Ridley, start things off, just because that is like the big rumor right now that he's not gonna be staying in Atlanta. He's out there for personal reasons. And like I said, I don't think it has anything to do with the Falcons organization. I think it's literally something to do with his personal life. So we're gonna trade him away. There's a team that's been like heavily rumored, and we're gonna trade him there and see what we can get from them. And they also have 3 first-round picks, so let's even get at least maybe like 2 of them or 1 of them. That'd be great. Today's video is brought to you by Halftime. Think of any social media that you use, but it's only dedicated to us diehard sports fans. Let me show you how it works. When you open up the app, this is what it's going to look like. It's nothing but sports. That's all you're going to see. You can see news from any sport you want to look at. Just scroll through MLB, UFC, NCAA. And then you got scores. If you want to look at scores for today or the previous day to see what happened the previous day. You also have the ability to choose your favorite teams. Whatever teams you want to put on there, you can put as many as you want. You could also choose your favorite players to follow and post in those players. And I'll show you how that works in a second. So this is what the posts are going to look like. You can literally choose any club you want to post it to. You could choose it to a whole league. You could choose it to just a certain team. There's much more you could do with this app, but this is just a small sample size and a little bit of an example of what you could do here on Halftime. So like I said, Halftime is just a social media app that's literally just dedicated to sports, so nothing else. And there's also 0 trolls. Halftime prides themselves on no trolls and no negativity on the app. So if you're interested in that at all, the link to download is in the description. Also, the link to my profile, if you want to follow it, is on there as well. I'll see you guys there on Halftime. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. This was honestly not the trade that I really wanted to do. I tried to negotiate with like so many teams, and I just couldn't get anybody to accept anything. Nobody was that interested in Calvin Ridley. So we ended up trading Calvin Ridley to the Cleveland Browns for a first rounder and a third rounder. So at one point, I wasn't even gonna get a first rounder, it looked like. So I'm glad we got a first round pick out of Calvin Ridley. So he is gone now. Like I said, we were gonna trade him away, but we got some draft capital for him. 2 draft picks in this upcoming draft, so that's gonna be great. So yeah, we got Calvin Ridley now. So I feel pretty good about that. Calvin Ridley, welcome. I just realized the Buccaneers went 17-0 in this simulation, by the way. So that's interesting. All right, so let's take let's look at our roster after we've traded Calvin Ridley away and just kind of see what this looks like now. So the offensive line isn't terrible. You got Mayfield here at the left guard at 22 years old. Then you also have McGarry here at 27. So probably won't focus on the offensive line too much. Hey, it looks like we have another Ridley, so we're good. And then you got Matt Ryan and then Franks. You got Mike Davis. So yeah, I think we need a young running back. We need a young quarterback behind Matt Ryan. There's a lot we need to do here. And then defensively, if we take a look, you got 2 really solid middle linebackers. You also got Grady Jarrett. Defensive line, I mean, defense is just struggling. We need a lot on the defensive side of the ball. So I think what we should be doing is more or less focusing on the defense and free agency, and then probably an offense. We draft a quarterback and a running back, and then even try to get a wide receiver in free agency potentially, just a cheap one if we have to. So let's go ahead and start and see what we can get. So we're gonna need Younghoe Koo back for sure. So I'm gonna try to find him. Obviously, Tyrann Mathieu would be great, but I'm not going to go spend a bunch of money on Tyrann Mathieu. That's not going to fix anything. We're going to try to balance our money out a little bit. So first and foremost, I do want to offer Younghoe Koo a contract to be my kicker again. So we'll go ahead and do that. So Younghoe Koo. And then let's just go ahead and look at what we can bring in on defense. So Marcus Williams would be great. But like I said, I mean, more or less, I kind of want to just focus on like young players that have potential, and then Marcus Williams is that for sure, but I feel like he's gonna be a little expensive. Ronnie Harris also makes a lot of sense. Will Fuller, Mike Hughes at another cornerback position. I think I kind of like that idea. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go ahead and try to get Mike Hughes here. We only have like a couple of signings in our arsenal in order to potentially make this happen. So that's probably gonna be our best offer. I'm gonna increase it just a little bit. So I have $13 million in cap space after this offer. So that'd be a young corner coming in at 25 years old, opposite of AJ Terrell, which is great. And then what else can we bring in? AJ Boye, Rashad Penny, Rasul Douglas. Even Malik Hooker at 26 years old could be a good idea. Played in Dallas, also got drafted in Indianapolis, was supposed to be a stud when he came in. Wasn't panned out all that well for most teams, but hey, maybe bring him over to Atlanta. Maybe he becomes something for us, and we are going to be a second offer. So we're going to try to increase this just a tiny bit, and we're probably gonna have room for one more signing on the defensive side of the ball, and that's if we get all these guys. So we got Younghoe Koo, Mike Hughes, and so now I kind of want to focus on a linebacker or a defensive lineman or whatever it may be. So let's see what we can get here. So we got a 27-year-old defensive tackle, got Melvin Ingram, Lewis, Ashawn Robinson, and then we also have Dominic Sue, Derek Barnett. So okay, Defensive tackle is kind of where I'm going to look at 27 years old. Would not mind him. Even Jerron Reed is out here. Let's see. I can't remember how young Jerron Reed is. He's 28 years old. Okay. DJ Jones, 27. So I'm going to go ahead and go for Fatuski, or however you say his name. So I don't even know if we're going to have enough money for this guy. Yeah, we don't. Never mind. So let's not worry about him. I mean, I guess we could shoot for the moon and potentially... Oh, I mean, we offered Malik Hooker a contract already. So I guess the other guy that I would find some interest in would be Ronnie Harris, who is pretty cheap. So I guess he'd be the other guy I would have some interest in. So 92 total points is going to be maybe close to a good offer, but we're going to have to increase the bonus quite a bit. So we'll offer that just a little bit more, and we are going to be his number one offer by like a smudge. So yeah, not a ton of cap room, obviously. So we're doing the best we can. So if we can get like these 3 pieces on the secondary, I guess that would be awesome. Now, obviously that doesn't fix everything, but it definitely is going to, you know, patch up a little bit. We'll get some good safeties, good coverage in the back end. So I guess let's just see how day one goes for us and see if we get some good signings here. Maybe we get all of them. Maybe we don't. You never really know with Madden, and we get every single one. Let's go. So luckily Madden's been going in my way lately. So we got our free safety. We got a young corner. We got a young, strong safety, and we got young Waku back. So obviously with that, we have no money left. We still are very much in not a good situation. But regardless, I still feel pretty good about where we're at. I do need a wide receiver as well, but I'm content with what we have on the offensive line for the most part. And then outside linebacker is a problem. Secondary looks a lot better. Defensive line is a problem. So yeah, the outside linebackers are a huge problem. The secondary, like I said, looks a lot better, but yeah, we still have a huge problem on the edge. Dante Fowler actually isn't too bad, so I'm okay with him at 28 years old. That's fine. But left outside definitely needs some help. Defensive tackle definitely needs some help. And yeah, so there's just a lot we need to get done, to be honest with you. And I don't know. I obviously have to get the Falcons' correct draft pick, but I just kind of want to see what draft situation we are in right now, because I'm not really. I gotta check what pick the drafts or what pick the Falcons pick at in real life, if I can speak correctly. So 13 in here, 31 seconds. So we have 2 seconds and 2 thirds. So actually, this could be great. This is actually really good. We're going to need all 6 of these draft picks. So running back, quarterback, wide receiver, and then the rest are going to have to be probably all defense. So we're going to go in 3 offense at running back, quarterback, wide receiver, and then defensively, it's going to have to be probably an outside linebacker, defensive tackle, and edge rusher. So yeah, this could be interesting. I think the rest of our acquisition is going to have to come via the NFL draft. We've done the best we can in free agency. We're going to get a quarterback to back up Matt Ryan for the future and obviously take over eventually. Whoever that may be, I'm not sure yet, but we're going to try to get something to happen and bring in a young QB to town. That way we have a little bit of a future here in Atlanta. So here we are in the NFL draft. Obviously, this is going to be a very, very important draft for us. We got to fill a lot of key positions. So let's make sure we make some good selections. So I think our first pick has to be a quarterback 100%. I think it doesn't make sense not to take one. We need a guy that's going to take over for whenever Matt Ryan is gone. So who that is, I'm not sure yet, but we got to make sure we get someone. So we have Desmond Ridder, who Carson Strong, Jordan Davis also up here, of course, but I'm 100% looking at the quarterback position, and Kenny Pickett, Matt Corral, Malik Willis. I know a lot of these guys. Desmond Ridder has got A, throw accuracy short, B, throw accuracy deep, and then he's got, I mean, he looks incredible, honestly. Stiff arm, A, B, break sack, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Atlanta has already met with Desmond in real life. B, throw accuracy mid for Carson Strong. F, okay, so we're not going to look at Carson Strong. I think I do want to look at, I honestly think I am going to be drafting Desmond here. Throw accuracy deep, B, A, throw under pressure, and then A, stamina, B, throw on the run, B, throw accuracy deep, and A, stamina. Okay, yeah, I think I'm going to draft Desmond. Let me know what you guys, if any Atlanta fans are watching this, let me know if you guys would prefer someone else, what other quarterback you want in the draft. I'm not a draft expert by any means, but I'm going to draft Desmond here with our first pick in the draft. We need a young quarterback to take over from Matt Ryan eventually, so I'm happy with that selection. Next selection, I want to take, you know, basically whatever I can get. I need a running back. I need a lot. So let's even get at pick number 31 here in the first round. So at number 31, we have Charles Cross, Sam Howell, Jordan Battle, Trent McDuffie, Josh Jobe. Okay, so outside linebacker and edge rusher would be great. Drake Jackson here. Looking at running back position real quick, we got Kenneth Walker on the board, Breece Hall. Okay. I know one of those guys are probably stud. Let's go ahead and see. No, nothing on that. A, trucking. B, stamina. C, juke move. C, catching traffic. And I also want to look at Breece Hall. He's got B, carrying, and then B, injury. B, C, trucking. Okay. Do I want to draft a running back here and maybe wait a little bit? I mean, I think I have to potentially draft a running back here. The Breece Hall or Kenneth Walker. Which one do I want? We have 42% completion rating on. He's one of our top fits. A, trucking. B, stiff arm. C, catch traffic. C, juke move. I'm going to draft Kenneth Walker here. Head development running back out of Michigan State. We needed a running back as well, so I'm happy with that. We're going to go to our next selection, and this is where we kind of need to focus on the defense. We still need a wide receiver, obviously. But I'm not going to draft wide receiver here. Or I could, potentially, I guess, if I wanted to. Early second-round pick. Focus on offense still. But we definitely still... Justin Ross is still here. But it looks like he's going to fall maybe even further. George Pickens, Drake London. There's actually, a little bit of wide receiver still left on the board. But one guy I did see that's actually really interesting to me is we got Miles Sanders here, who I know is a stud as well. So it's just a matter of gambling here. But I think I'm going to take... the edge rusher here, who's I'm gonna take I can't say his name, but I'm gonna take Sanders here. D block shedding, B hit power, B awareness, D power moves. I'm gonna take Sanders here though. Hidden development, edge rusher. We needed that. And then I think with my next selection, I'm gonna take Justin Ross if he's still on the board. Hopefully he's still here. I don't know if I'll get that lucky, but Tyler Davis goes to the defensive tackle position. And then last but not least, can we get Justin Ross here? Is he still available? Am I that lucky? I don't think he is. Haskell Garrett, Zach Harrison, Tyreek Smith, Anderson. Yeah, it looks like he got taken. So Drake London's on the board. I know he's pretty good. USC. He's got D deep route. We definitely need a wide receiver. A, spectacular catch. B, carrying. I think I'm going to take Drake London here. Hidden development, wide receiver. So I think we've hit really good in a lot of our draft picks so far. So let's see if we can keep going in the third round. So I really love what we've done so far. We've gotten a lot of good hidden development players. All right, third round pick. Need a linebacker. Nolan Smith, DJ Dale. We also need a defensive tackle, I believe. Correct? Yes, we only have one active. The DJ Dale out of Alabama could make sense. We have 80% completion rating on him. So let's go ahead and take a look at what he looks like. DJ Dale, C finesse move, C block shedding, C tackle. He's got B stamina, A injury. So he's solid. Nothing crazy. What else do we got on the board? Is Adam Anderson still here is the question. He is not, I don't think. Okay, so since we have such good scouting on DJ Dale, and I guess the other guy we had a little bit of scouting on is Christopher Hinton. So let's go and take a look at what he looks like. C, finesse moves, D, power moves, and then you got A, play recognition, B, injury. So that actually looks really good. I'm going to take DJ Dale, though, here. We've scouted him quite a bit. So I'm going to take DJ Dale here. Hopefully, maybe he's hidden development. He's normal development. That's fine. We took a young defensive tackle. So our last selection, or it's not going to be our last one, but maybe the last one I decide on. So early or late third round pick. Let's see what we can get here. So still need an outside linebacker. Nolan Smith is making a lot of sense to me. We need one, and he's literally the the position we need. So Nolan Smith on the top of the board. C block shedding. He's one of our top fits. B man coverage. C awareness. C block shedding. I'm taking Nolan Smith here. Normal development, outside linebacker, but we needed one. So I think we made a really good draft, to be honest. I think we had a fantastic draft. I might draft one more. Just one more to be safe. But we hit on a lot of our draft picks, which is just great. So Merlin Robinson, strong safety, Jalen Green, Zion Nelson. I mean, we could potentially take another corner here just to add to the cornerback room. So I'm going to draft Jalen Green out of Texas. F catching. That is not a good look when you're a corner. You know what? I'm going to let CPU decide on the rest of this. I'm not going to take another guy. So we're going to go ahead and simulate to the end of this NFL draft. I think we did a great job. Let's see how our overalls are looking. I wish Madden just showed you the overalls in the draft like it used to, but fortunately, you have to wait till after the draft. Draft recap, we come out of the draft with a 69 overall quarterback, a 75 overall running back, a 76 overall right end, a wide receiver who's a 70 overall, 71, 63, 64, 68, 65, and 63. I think we had a fantastic draft. Really good. Obviously, Desmond Ridder is going to be sitting behind Matt Ryan this season, but then next year is when he would take over like we've seen in real life with Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes, like I said earlier, and then the Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers thing. And then, of course, maybe even Jordan Love from Aaron Rodgers, depending on how that goes this offseason. But let's take a look at our lineup now that we have all these draft picks. So I feel really good about our draft. I mean, That was the best thing this offseason by far. We got a good young running back, a good young wide receiver. Offensive line is still solid. We got a young quarterback to learn behind Matt Ryan. Kenneth Walker, hopefully he's a stud for us. Mike Davis is the backup. Russell Gage, and then Drake London. So another wide receiver couldn't hurt, honestly, but we don't have cap space to fill that out. But if we take a look at the edge rusher, we got Nolan Smith. We got Malik Hooker. We got Sanders here. We got DJ Dale. And then, yeah, so I feel really good about this. Obviously, I'm going to just start Nolan Smith. He's younger, I believe, than this guy, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, this guy's 23, so, I mean, they're kind of the same. So I guess I'll leave him in there. Okay, AJ Terrell, Mike Hughes. I think we had a pretty decent offseason for the most part. We did the best we could, I believe. So, obviously, this is just an offseason realistic rebuild, so we can't go any further than just one offseason, unfortunately. But once we do the longer-term rebuilds, I feel like this team could eventually turn into something. But we're going to go ahead and simulate this season. Matt Ryan's going to be the quarterback for one last year. That's what it sounds like. Maybe eventually he gets benched this year. Maybe Arthur Smith gets impatient, throws Desmond in there. You're always going to have a young quarterback that can potentially find a way to get into the games early on if you need him to. So we're going to go ahead and watch the Hall of Fame induction because I feel like sometimes it gives me success and luck for these next 18 weeks I'm about to simulate, or whatever, or 21 weeks, I think, including the preseason. So let's go ahead and simulate this season. Do I expect it to make the playoffs? No, but sometimes you get surprised by this game. But I think we had a great offseason for the most part. We did the best we could with the little cap room that we had, and having to trade Calvin Ridley and all that. But Atlanta's future is definitely interesting, but I think there's a way you can turn it around, especially if you do something like this and hit on all your draft picks. So unfortunately for us, we went 4-13 on the season. Can't be too surprised by that. Obviously, Atlanta's in a weird situation. I think we did the best we could with what we had. I do want to take a look at the player stats though, and I kind of want to see what our young players are looking like right now. So obviously, I think to do a better job, we'd have to go even further in this simulation. So obviously, Matt Ryan would be gone after this, I would imagine. Then Drake London. Then you have Desmond take over for Matt Ryan. And then if we take a look at the defensive side of the ball, we got Sanders up to an 80 overall. We also have DJ Dale down here, got taken over by Davidson for some reason. I don't know. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats, though, for the season, and then we'll see who wins the Super Bowl. So just another year where we don't make the postseason, but I've gotten to the teams that I haven't done lately. We were 24th in the NFL on offense, and then we were 32nd in the NFL on defense. So, yeah, it makes sense we didn't actually make the playoffs. So, 34 touchdowns and 17 interceptions for Matt Ryan. This would probably be his last year in Atlanta, I would imagine. Going 4-13 is just not good enough. And then Desmond would take over for Atlanta. And then rushing-wise, Kenneth Walker with 800 yards, 13 touchdowns. Receiving, Russell Gage. I mean, we traded away Calvin Ridley, and he had a fantastic year. Drake London did as well with 1,200 yards. So both our wide receivers did some work. Kyle Pitts with 900 yards. And then if you take a look at the defensive side of the ball, where we were the worst in the league, we had 10 sacks from Sanders, who was great. 5.5, 5, and 4.5. And then interceptions-wise, we had 4 from Deion Jones, 3 from AJ Terrell, and 2 from Malik Hooker. And the deflections-wise, we had 6. And if you take a look at the touchdowns, we had none. We did have a safety, though, from Dante Fowler, so that's great. And then blocked kicks, none. Okay, well, that is an unfortunate year for us, obviously. Definitely would have loved to have been in the postseason, but I honestly kind of expected this. It made sense that we weren't going to be here. We were a rebuilding team. Cleveland, Jacksonville, Tennessee, Kansas City Chargers, and then you got Buffalo, Indianapolis, Green Bay, Washington, San Francisco, Tampa, Saints, Carolina, and Dallas. Okay, well, let's go ahead and see who's going to be in the Super Bowl real quick. I'm going to assume maybe probably a Kansas City, Dallas Super Bowl. Let's go ahead and make that prediction. Let's see if that's correct. So, let's see. Did I get this correct? Whoa, I'm a genius. I'm an absolute genius. Let's see who wins it. Kansas City over Dallas. Let's go. Can I be this good? I'm a genius. Let's go. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was the final roster we put together in this one off season that we did. When we do another long-term Atlanta Falcons rebuild, I hope I do something as good as I did in this video, because I definitely set this team up for the future. So thank you guys for watching. This is Crushables 2. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.